Hi everybody and welcome to Commander Critic. Today's video I want to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about one of my favorite commander decks. And this deck is actually kind of fitting with the current release of Tarkir Dragonstorm because it is a dragon commander. However, it's not one that you would normally think of. It's for a mono red deck, and that commander is Themberchaud. Now, Themberchaud was one of the cards from the D&D Honor Among Thieves secret lair. It was actually the bonus secret card. And I love mono red, so I decided I would make this deck. But speaking of that secret lair, between the end of April and I think beginning or first couple weeks of May, participating local game stores are going to be hosting draft events where you can receive a promo card, which is a reskinned and renamed version of one of the cards from that secret lair, except Themberchaud will just remain as Themberchaud with a different art. So I figured I'd talk about my deck, and in case you do get that promo, if that's something you want to build, maybe I give you some ideas. But as always, let me know in the comments if you run Themberchaud, what types of cards, what cards you run in it. So we're going to start with talking about my commander. Themberchaud is a 7-drop red 5/5 dragon, and when it enters, it deals damage to each player, including yourself, and each non-flying creature other than Themberchaud. So it's kind of a board wipe. But it also will wipe your board if you have non-flyers. So just be aware of that. And then if you want to attack with Themberchaud, you can exert to give it flying because it is a big fatty dragon, which I think is fun. Or you can just attack and it's on the ground. So this is kind of, in my opinion, an opposite of a group hug deck. I call it my group slap deck because it hits everybody, including me. And the goal of the deck is to try to get your opponents to have less life than you. So if you cast Themberchaud multiple times, they will lose the rest of their life total before you do. And usually your opponents want to try to get you lower than them so that you die. And there's been several times where I've cast Themberchaud and everybody dies, including me. So, it can do some different fun things. It's mono red. I love mono red. It does a lot of damage. So I'm going to talk about some of the key cards, in my opinion, that I put in mine. First off is Solfim. And Solfim says that any non-combat damage you do to an opponent or a creature an opponent controls, it deals twice that much damage. Now you have to be careful because this creature is a non-flyer, but if you use the ability to put the indestructible counter on it, then when Themberchaud enters, Solfim will not die to that effect, and it'll still get that double damage trigger to the creatures and to the player's face, which is really cool. So you'll take, like, for example, you have 7 mountains, you'll take 7 and all their ground creatures and themselves will lose 14 life. So that's pretty good. Another support card I have is Brash Taunter. So even though it's on the ground, it's indestructible. So when Brash Taunter takes that damage, you can redirect that damage to another target, which is very helpful as well as keeping your opponent's life total down. Now in mono red, there's really no ramp to say, to speak of. But I do run cards like Burnished Heart and also Solemn Simulacrum. Those help to get you some lands on the battlefield. And in this deck, I run close to 50 mountains. I know it's a lot, but I want to really guarantee I can get Themberchaud out on curve. And the more mountains I have in play, the more damage it's going to do. Okay, so some of the other things, you want to have a lot of enter the battlefield effects, maybe copying Themberchaud. So I run Mirror March. So when Themberchaud can enter, you flip a coin and you choose odds or evens, and if you win the toss, then you get another copy. And it doesn't matter about the legendary rule because you just care about the ETB. And then usually you'd want to kill your original Themberchaud so that you can cast her again. So it works pretty good. But that card has not worked out for me yet, but I'm going to keep it in there because one day I'm going to get it to pop off, and it's going to be amazing. Another copy effect would be Helm of the Host. Now I know it's expensive, but if you can get a new copy of Themberchaud every combat, it's going to keep triggering that enter the battlefield, which is what you want to do. You want to just hit face, and opponents may not want to play creatures on the ground, so you can stop that as well. So it does a lot for you. Another card that helps me to get above the curve with my life total over theirs is Repercussion. And whenever you do damage to an opponent's creature, it also does that much damage to their face. So you can actually just win a game by having Repercussion out and playing Themberchaud if you're doing a bunch of damage to each of their creatures, and then also each creature that takes that damage deals that same damage to the opponent's face. So I've won games that way. It's just a one-shot. Everybody's done. Another little trick that I have in the deck is with Brass Squire, where you can tap and just equip an artifact to a creature at instant speed. So the goal with this is to run things like Basilisk Collar that gives your creatures lifelink and death touch, but more importantly, the lifelink. If you have Basilisk Collar out and Brass Squire, and then I cast Themberchaud, I can use the Brass Squire to quickly equip the Basilisk Collar to Themberchaud, and then Themberchaud's ETB will happen, and all the damage Themberchaud does to everybody, you gain that much life. So it's going to really help you there. So it's kind of a fun little trick. I do also run Fiery Emancipation, which does triple damage when you have a source of damage to an opponent or any of their creatures. So it's pretty crazy, especially if you double it up with Soul Fim. You get 6 times that amount of damage. I mean, it's mono red aggro. That's what red wants to do. And it's a lot of fun. And usually I don't even attack with Themberchaud. I also run Chain Lightning in the deck. Now it's funny because I run it to target Themberchaud. And then since I'm the controller of that permanent, I pay the 2 extra to do another 3 damage, killing Themberchaud so that I can recast her and get that effect again. So it's a lot of like wanting to do extra damage multiplied, and then having Themberchaud enter the battlefield several times to really make the payoff. And there's a lot of other fun cards in it, but I'm not going to make this video too long. I don't want to talk about every card. But those are just some of the ones that I think are great in the deck that help support what you want to do with this mono red. And this is the deck that I play when we're like, all right, we can do one more quick game today. So I run Themberchaud because either I'm going to win quick or I'm going to be out of the game quick, and it just makes the game go quicker, just in general. So I love that deck, and I love that commander. And, it's a lot of fun. And you do become a target, obviously, because it is 7 mana to cast. So it is what it is. You know exactly what you're going to be expecting to receive once they know what you're playing. But I love it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you run Themberchaud, or are you looking forward to maybe getting a copy in your LGS events? And if there are any other cards you want to run in the deck that I didn't mention, let me know. And yeah, definitely comment, and thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm going to be talking about more of my decks in the future, just to give an idea. That way there you get to know me more as a commander player and my style of play. So I hope you all have a great week. And again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time.